Let's take a look at the measurement section of the exam. So we've got, this is again the 2018, this is the year 9, term 3 or milestone 3 exam. Let's take a look. We've got several things to do. Area and perimeter seem to be the main part. So we've got a parallelogram here. The perimeter is going to be, we've got 15 here and a 15 here, because these are the same. And these are going to be 12 and 12 these sides. This one we don't need to worry about for the perimeter, but this is 12 and 12 and 15 and 15. So it's going to be 2 lots of 12 and 2 lots of 15. So what do we end up with? Let's have a look. So we've got 2 lots of 12 and 2 lots of 15. And we end up with 54. So it's 54. And it's going to be the centimeters. Okay. The area, though, is going to be base times vertical height. Base times height. The base is 15, and the height here is 9. So 9 15s, let's take a look. So 9 times 15 is 135. Now, the units, though, 135 is going to be square centimeters. Okay, triangle here. Okay, nice, simple triangle. Very, very cool. And you've just got, well, we're going to do base times height. So perimeter, well, first of all, the perimeter we've got is 25 plus 20 plus 15, just the distance around the outside. Let's have a look what you got there. So you've got 25, 40, 50, 60. It's going to be 60 centimeters. There it is. Notice, by the way, the centimeters should have a gap in between the number and the units, and they don't there. We should do it like this, yeah? A gap, yeah? These ones don't have it either, but do make sure that you do, yeah? It's a classic way to lose marks. Now, of course, a triangle is just base times vertical height. You've got to be a little bit careful here. You're always looking, the vertical height must be a right angle. So you could either say this is the base and this is the height, or you could say this is the base and this is the height, but not this one here. If you use that as the base, then your height better be that one there. And you don't know that one, so that's how we're going to have to do this. So base times height is going to be, so it's going to be 1/2 times base times height, which is going to be half, and I'll use this as my base. 20 times height is going to be 15. I'm going to divide the whole thing by 2. So 20 times 15 divided by 2. 20 times 15, I'm going to divide the whole thing by 2, and I'm going to get 150. It's 150, and it's going to be square centimeters. There it is. All right, the perimeter of this one here, we're going to have to do a little bit of intuition here. So I'm noticing this is 3, which means this one on the bottom is also going to be a 3. And again, centimeters. Again, they haven't left gaps in between the units and the number. If this is 2 here, yeah, this is 2 here, this is 2 here. So this is 2, 2, 2. This is going to be a 6 this side. So if we add it all up, we're going to have a 6 on this side, plus a 3 on the top and the bottom here. So 2 lots of 3 is another 6, plus we've got a 2 and a 2 and a 2. This is where we've got to be a little bit careful here. We've got a 2 and a 2 and a 2. So plus 3 times 2 is, again, 6, plus, now, we've got this distance here. Now, we know this distance here is 3, yeah? And this distance here has got to be 10 minus that distance there. So this must be 10 minus 3 must equal 7. And I've got a 7 here, and I've got a 7 here. So I've got plus 2 times 7. So let's just check all that so we've got it right. So we've got 2, 2, 2 is a 6, tick. A 3 and a 3 is a 6, yes. A 2, 2 and a 2 is a 6, yes. A 7 top and bottom is 2 lots of 7. And I think I've covered all my bases there. So let's see what we got. We've got 3 times 6 is 18, and 2 times 7. So 3 times 6 plus 2 times 7, and we get 32. If I get this wrong, by the way, do tell me. Don't let me get away with it. All right. Now the area, though, I'm going to do this in two lots. So I'll put a line down here. This area of this bit is going to be 6 times 3, base times height, or length times width. So the area is going to be 6 times 3 plus the area of this one. So this is going to be a 2 times the length of this is a 7. So I got 6 times 3 plus 2 times 7. 6 times 3 plus 2 times 7, and I get 32. Interesting. And that's 32 square centimeters. So the perimeter and the area have the same numerical value. That's very interesting. All right, this one here, now this is a trapezium. Trapeziums are nice, or trapezia. A trapezium is a nice thing to do. We've got a top and a bottom. Actually, let's do the perimeter first. So we've got this plus this plus this plus this is going to be 8 plus 10 plus 16 plus 10. So we've got 2 lots of 10 and a 16 and an 8. So 2 lots of 10 and a 16 and an 8. There we go. Is 44. It's 44 meters. Now, the area of these is always equal to A plus B divided by 2 times height is equal to, well, A and B are the top and the bottom. So I've got 16 plus 10 divided by 2 times the vertical height. Well, the vertical height, you can tell by the right angles here, is going to be 8. So what does all that come to? We've got 16 plus 10. We've got a 16 plus we've got a 10. We're going to divide that by 2, which is 13. And we're going to multiply the 13 by 8. So that's going to be 104. And it's going to be square meters. Nice. Okay, now we've got some circles. This one here, we've got a radius this time. Well, circumference is always equal to 2 pi r, which we can say C is equal to 2 times pi times 4.5, and we can just quickly plonk that all in. So that's 4.5 times 2 times, and we'll put in a pi there. Doesn't matter which order you do it in. Now, what is it doing? We're doing it says 2 dp's. All right. Okay, here we go, 2 dp's. So it's going to be 28.27. 28.27, and this is going to be centimeters. There it is. The area, though, is equal to pi r squared. What equals there? Equals pi, well, we know pi is pi, times 4.5 squared. There it is equal to. Now I've got pi times, I'll put 4.5, we're going to square it, there it is. And we get 63 point, and it's going to be to 2 dp, so it's going to 63.6. I call that 6.1 because that number there is 4 or more. Sorry, 5 or more. So 63.62 I'm calling that. 63.62, and it's going to be square centimeters. There it is. All right, perimeter of this one now. This is a bit of a curly one. You've got to watch these. Because, of course, first of all, we've got a quarter of a circle, because remember, this thing actually is like there, yeah. That wasn't very good, was it? What looks more like a potato. But nonetheless, though, that's what we're dealing with here. It's a circle and a full circle, but this is going to be a quarter of a circle. So that part there, just that part, so I'm going to do this separately over here. So the circumference there is equal to 2 pi r divided by 4 is equal to, so I've got, let's do that first. So I've gone divide by 4 because it's a quarter. Or I could have said times 1/4 if I wanted, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go divide by 4. Same thing, really. So you're going to have 2 times pi times, what is it? It's 8. It's 8 is r. So it's got 2 times pi times 8 over 2, yeah? So let's do this. So I've got 2 times pi times 8, and I'm just going to divide it by 2. There it is. And that's 25.13. So it's 25.13. Now, this is only that bit there, yeah? is that in centimetres. Now we've also got, this is 8, and that's 8. So the perimeter is going to equal 25.13. Oh wait, could that be right? Oh, I put divide by 2. You muppet, it should be divided by 4. Crikey, that's no good. Let's try it again. Here we go. So I've got 25. Wait, what have I got? 2 times pi times r. And r is 8. So 2 times pi times 8 is 50. I'm going to divide it by 4, not by 2. Now I get 12.5. I'm going to call that 12.57. I'm going to call it. Let's see. So, crikey, that was silly, wasn't it? Okay, so this is divided by 4, so it's 12.57. This is why I use a pencil. 12.57. In New Zealand, we tend to use pen, but I think the pencil's far more useful. Americans always use pencil. They always consider the pencil is the tool for mathematics calculations, and I got to say, I completely agree with them. I think they've got it right. They've really thought this one through, because of this very reason. Because we're always changing the results. We're always teasing stuff out, strategizing, brainstorming, figuring things out in small steps and messing up, and it's perfectly good. Plus 2 lots of 8. Here we go. So the perimeter is 12.57. Plus 2 lots of 8 is 16. And we get 28.5. I'm going to call it 28.5. I'm calling that 5.7 because that's 4 greater than 4. So 28.57 equals 28.57, and it's going to be centimetres. Okay, the area. Now the area is a nice simple one, really, because it's just a quarter of a circle. Yeah, so it's going to be pi r squared divided by 4. Yeah, or a quarter. That's probably best saying a 1/4 pi r squared. Let's get rid of that. And let's just type it straight in. 1/4 or 0.25 times pi times r. R was 8, and it's 8 squared. There it is. So here, let's have a look. We've got 50.2, and I'm going to call that 27. Equals 50.27. This would be square centimeters. So let's just make sure I've got that. I've got 0.25 times pi r squared, and I get 50.27. That's good. All right. Now the last bit here, which is a little bit of a curly one, says a rectangular board has a semicircular frame around it. What's the area of the shaded frame? Find the perimeter of the shaded frame. So the first thing we're going to do, we'll find the area first. I think that's probably quite a reasonable thing to do. And to do it, all we're going to do is find the area of the semicircle, find the area of the rectangle, and subtract the area of the rectangle from the area of the semicircle. So first of all, area of the semicircle. So first of all, the area, so I've got area is equal to pi r squared, and it's half, so I'm just going to divide it by 2. Now, what's pi? Well, sorry, what's r? Well, here was just 5 meters, so the r value is going to be half of 5, which is 2.5, yeah? Because all the way along is the diameter. We want the perimeter, it's 2.5. So the area is equal to pi times, this is going to be 2.5 all squared, divided by 2. So let's see what that comes to. Area is, we've got pi times 2.5 squared, and we're going to divide it by 2, which is 9.8. I'm going to call it 9.82. I'm going to call it, yeah, equals 9.82. There it is, 9.82, and that is the whole of this area here. So the whole of the shaded area is 9.82. Let's find the area of this bit, though. The area of this bit's nice and straightforward. So we've got, oh, and look what they've done. So they've got 1.4 times 3. So it's going to be area here. It's going to equal 1.4 times 3.4. Let's see what that comes to. So we've got area is equal to 1.4. Hang on. Oi! No, don't do that, sweetie. Okay, so 1.4 times 3.4. 1.4 times 3.4, doesn't take any notice of me at all, is 4.76. So that is equal to 4.76. So we're going to subtract this area here from this larger area here. So the area is equal to 9.82 minus 4.76, that sounds good, is equal to, and let's just check it, it's the shaded, area, the shaded bit. So let's say 9.82, here it is, so 9.82 minus 4.76, and I probably messed up here somewhere, but let's have a look. I get 5.06 is equal to 5.06, and it's going to be in meters, so it's square meters. There it is. All right, the perimeter, though, is now just the perimeter R. We're only doing the perimeter of the shaded frame, which is oh, that is curious. What do they mean by that? Do they mean the perimeter of that? Or are we actually going inside this bit here? Are we actually going around here, around there, around there, around there, around there, around there? I don't actually know, because there's a solid line here. The solid line would suggest we're only going around this perimeter here. We're not going to venture inside this bit here. Because if we were, so really I could see two answers here. Because there's a solid line. The solid line would suggest the perimeter means you don't go inside there. But let's say we were not going. So let's say perimeter without going inside there. Because that would be very bad if that was we were expected to go inside and do that, which we could do, of course. But I think we're not, because there is a solid, really thick solid line there, yeah? So let's say we're not going to. In that case, if we're not, then I would say, right, so circumference is equal to 2 pi r, which is equal to 2 times pi, and divide by 2, so times 1/2, yes? And we're simply going to add on that 5 at the bottom there. So circumference is 2 pi r, which is 2 times pi times r. R is the radius, which is 2.5 times 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to add on that 5 in a moment. So let's see what we got. It's equal to, so let's do that, 2 pi r, which is going to be 2 times pi times 2.5. There it is, 15. And we're going to be half of that. So it's going to be times 0.5. Is I'm going to call it 7.85. 7.85. Plus we're going to add on a 5 there. So it's 7.85, which is just, by the way, that bit around there. Yeah, and then we're going to add on the 5, so we'll put plus 5, because they're not wanting circumference. The circumference is this bit here. They're wanting the perimeter, which is that bit plus this bit. So I'm going to go 7.85. 5 into is 12.85, and the answer will be in meters. And that's what I get.